Okay, we wait afterwards. So we carry on with Egypt.
This one. Okay, good morning. I'm Manatullah, a statistician at CABMAS, which is the National Statistical Office in Egypt. Egypt started building SPR by holding Memorandum of Understanding with Social Security Authority in 2015 and obtaining the database updated each 3 months, which reached about 3 million establishments. And then we built our own database in CAPMAS, and we transferring the used codes of Social Security Authority data to that used in CAPMAS, which is Isaac Rev 4. About the challenges, we have several challenges as some of administrative data sources don't have digital and updated data, and also the difference in the used classification between CAPMAS and administrative data sources. Also, non-existence of unique identifier for the establishments, and the law, the statistical law is not fully in practice, as some administrative data sources refuse to share their data with us. And about our future plans, we are working on holding a memorandum of understanding with tax authority to obtain their database, and also we are working with them to unify their classification according to Isaac Rev 4. Now also Egypt is working to build a unique identifier by the cooperation between our office and Ministry of Planning and Tax Authority. Thank you.
Thank you. So, don't get yet. Eurostat.
So, good morning, my colleagues. My name is Zsolt Wölfinger from Eurostat, from the Statistical Office of the European Union. So, Eurostat, as a Statistical Office of the Union, coordinates and supports the work in the member states on business registers. We also measure compliance with the EU regulations. And we also support EFTA countries like Switzerland with specific agreements. And also we coordinate with candidate countries. So Eurostat is also running a business register because we run the Eurogroups register, which is a common project of the member states and Eurostat. And in the recent activities, we are improving the EGR process and the tools for targeting EGR quality improvements. EGR is covering 110,000 groups. It's a continuously increasing database. Almost 1 million companies are in the database in the last yearly frame we produced. Last year, we also started with experimental statistics, producing an article on the structure of the multinational enterprise groups active in the EU. This is available on Eurostat website, and we will also report on this during this conference. In addition to the EGR works, Eurostat is also running a project called the ESBRS project, which is the European System of Interoperable Statistical Business Registers. So this project is targeting to improve interoperability of national business registers of the EU countries, creating a new system of national business registers and EGR. In this project, Eurostat is running pilots on interoperability. We support and coordinate the European profiling activities, and also Eurostat is defining and testing the business architecture of this interoperable system. As future plans, we would like to further improve EGR, improving EGR quality, and also exploring potential new data sources for the EGR. On the ESBRS project, the developments will continue on the interoperability framework and also on the integration of the profiling process and the EGR process. And I think these are the main challenges for us. First, to integrate the results of the profiling activity into the EGR process, because our colleagues in profiling, they have a lot of information on multinational enterprise groups, which should also arrive to EGR. And another target, what is ahead of Eurostat, is to achieve a high and stable EGR quality in order to allow to our member state statisticians to use this EGR population as a harmonized frame when they produce national statistics. So I think these activities will take us busy in the coming period. These are the directions we follow. Thank you.
Thank you, Zsolt. Finland. bottom. So maybe some instruction, because I see that everybody is. So you have to just press, voila.
All right.
The
Can you hear
bottom
now?
of the.
We worked it out in cooperation. Finland will celebrate our 50th year of Statistical Business Register in Finland this year. So the Statistical Business Register in Finland was established in 1968, and only 4 years ago, in 2014, the business register was amalgamated with the Integrated Business Statistics Production System, which was a huge renewal. We are situated in the Department of Data Collection. Strictly speaking, what previously used to be the Statistical Business Register, the part of the new system now, there are 25 of us working for the business register. We are working on more than 850,000 legal units. For the time being, one legal unit equals one statistical enterprise. But among the main achievements in the past year was the implementation of the statistical enterprise unit. So the first 34 enterprise groups were profiled, and complex enterprise units were delineated as an outcome of a national project. And the first survey addressing the enterprise instead of a legal unit, with a focus on internal items, was carried out, and results were validated and updated to the database. Among other main achievements in the past year, I could mention the preparations for a major reform package on health, social services and regional government in Finland, which puts a lot of pressure on the business register on the public side as well. And another main achievement could be managing changes in key administrative data sources. We are very dependent on administration data for our business statistics production and business register. Among our future plans will be the implementation of the enterprise units. Now we have formed the first 34, but we will step forward in the coming years. Also, preparations for a major reform package on health, social services and regional government in Finland. We are dependent on the government decisions, so we are following the time schedule of the legal, juridical framework. And also, among our future plans is enhancement of the European system of interoperable business registers, as Eurostat just mentioned. So we are actively involved in a few grants. Among the main challenges, we identify balance with growing demands and limited number of staff. I guess all too familiar with other colleagues as well. And another challenge would be stability of the integrated business statistics production system that we sort of started using 4 years ago. So the continuous development of the system. Thank you.
Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Fabio. Good morning, everyone. I am going to present you shortly the 4 main strategic topics for the development of the French Statistical Business Register. First, we implemented the enterprise unit in the business register from the enterprise groups. Thus, 100,000 enterprises were created, and they represent more than 350,000 legal units. 100 were manually created, and the others automatically by algorithm. The structural business statistics on reference year 2017 will take it into account. Secondly, we introduced new variables in the statistical business register, particularly the LEI ID number, nationality of the enterprise group, and so on. This variable will allow us to establish new typologies of enterprises and calculate new statistics about globalization. Third, we are now working to improve the consistency between business demography statistics and structural business statistics. And finally, in order to face new issues due to globalization and to answer to the early warning system cited by Eurostat, we launched a re-engineering process of our information system about the economic restructuring. Olivier Hague will present it tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Georgia, if he's there. He's not yet there. Is there? No. Perfect. Germany.
Okay. The German statistical system is a federal one, which means that we have independent offices of the regions or the states, and one coordinating body, which is the Federal Statistical Office. And in this way, also register work is organized, which makes it sometimes, say, a bit challenging for to have a change. Our main areas of work in the last year has been the introduction of the statistical unit enterprise, and we started a program of profiling in the business register, which means we have started to implement procedures for profiling, and for this task we have created a special working group where all these offices are represented. We have now done a first test cycle of profiling, doing it automatically and doing it manually as well. And on Wednesday, my colleague will give a presentation of the, say, evaluation of this first test cycle. Another area was to, enhance our technical base of the business register in order to make it fit to take all the information about complex enterprises and all their relations to other units, such as legal units and enterprise groups. And we managed to have this enlarged system in place to put in all the results of the first test cycle. Another thing that has been enlarged in this technical database is now information about geocoding. So all the local units are geocoded in the German business register meanwhile. Our next plans are to, implement the profiling work as a permanent task of the business register. We hope to be fit for the real work in 1 year, next year 2019, to produce then enterprises which will be used for structural business statistics work. A new aspect of profiling that we are trying to do this year for the first time is the manual profiling in direct contact with the enterprise groups, the so-called intensive profiling. And we are just preparing for the first contacts with enterprise groups at the moment. A new area of work is also to have more intensive exchange of information with the central bank in Germany. So meanwhile, the central bank is receiving almost all information of the statistical business register. And we also try to improve the quality of the business register by information from the central bank. And this is work in progress. Another work in progress is to enlarge our technical database even more. We have much procedures in place to cope with the updating of enterprise group information. For example, to take part in the Eurogroup register data exchange with Eurostat. But we would like to have a better technical platform to do all this, and this is a major task for further development in the next years. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now Colombia.
Good morning. My name is Zaida Morera. I come from National Department of Statistics, DANE. We have 13 million enterprise registered. And the progress and develops in the past year was advancing in the profile in this item. Following with profile enterprise group, now are more than 114 group included in system. Another was use of web scraping scripts using techniques to extract data from website to update information about location and identification. Next item was about ensure quality data. Apply techniques like similarity algorithm to compare and detect difference between registers. For us, the future plans is about optimize legal state, make update to the legal state for detect change in enterprise when the data source don't report information frequently, using criteria to deliver information about real situation. Another is geographical coordinates. It's a segment coordinate to provide frame to survey, integrate with special data. And the next is e-commerce in the system. In this item is explore data source e-commerce and define process to be integrated with business register. The main challenge is optimized process. In this case, we need reduce time in preparing information, define scripts and algorithm to validate data from data source. And the last is implement business intelligence, implement data cube and data meaning, like tools for explore information. Thanks.
Thank you. Now we have Greece. No? Oh. Hungary?
Thank you. I am Miklos Juhász from Hungarian Central Statistical Office. Regarding our report, we are also celebrating this year the 40th anniversary of the business register, which was established in 1978. In our register, we have around 2 million legal units, and from them around 1 million enterprises. Regarding our developments in the past year, we focused mainly into two areas. One is enterprise group register and enterprises, and the second one is seeking new data sources. Regarding the first one, we redesigned the enterprise group register in order to implement the complex enterprise structures. Regarding the enterprise structure data maintenance, we introduced a survey which were loaded into our consolidation area, and companies and affiliates control structures were matched with the administrative information. Regarding the new data sources, the agreements with the administrative sources were negotiated, and a lot of new variables were taken over. Moving on to the future plans, we will focus to develop our connections with the different national registers and connection to the National Central Bank and connection to the EGR system. Regarding the connection with the national registers, we will focus the connection between business register and register of addresses, and we will implement online connection between the two systems. And regarding the connection with the National Central Bank, we have daily and annual data transmissions, but this should be further expanded to the relevant data on enterprise groups and enterprises, institutional units, and other variables. And regarding the connection with EGR, we should develop the data exchange on the basis of SDMX ML5s, and the interactive use of EGR interactive module will be also developed. And finally, the main challenges. Our main challenges around the complex delineation of complex enterprises, describing the process model on how to create and maintain the new unit type. Data sources should be prioritized, and special attention should be paid to the manual checking. And we should also follow up the user needs, for instance, the structural business statistics and other statistical domains. And also there is a governmental development on e-governments, so we should implement new IT communication platforms of the company registration procedures. Thank you.
Thank you. Now Iceland. No Iceland, so Ireland.
Thank you. My name is Patrick Keller. I'm the statistician in Business Register in our Central Statistics Office. Our Business Register was developed in the early 90s, with our IT application actually built soon afterwards. This IT application is by and large still in place with some re-engineering over the years, but in general it's still in place, and our main goal at the moment is to overhaul this application. Our Business Register through the years has responsibility for the Eurogroups Register, Business Demography, Business Register, and the sample frame provision to SBS and STS statistics. But in the last year or two, we're also getting involved in profiling and in a lot of the work national accounts do in terms of trade linkages and enterprise linkages to national accounts data and balance of payments data. We've also got involved in recent months in our large cases unit, who profile large enterprises, and we're trying to extend this beyond the 50 or 60 enterprises that they look at the enterprises that affect SBS and STS statistics. So the work done in recent times, we're involved in a multi-year project for Business Register IT development. So the work this year has basically involves a user needs specification. We've gone around to survey areas, asked them what they need, and we're basically trying to create a backbone. This phrase that's constantly used, the backbone for Business Register throughout the office. So we've got the survey areas, got their needs, and now we're starting to develop this IT application. We've also worked with STS and STS to develop coherent processes throughout our surveys in terms of the administrative data that we use, just to make sure we're all using the same data and we're using it for the same reasons. Other work we've done is business statistics reorganization. Previously, we used to have SBS, STS, and Business Register all work in individual processes, no coherent linkages. So in recent years, we've actually started to share staff among survey areas. We've staff now that work on multiple surveys instead of working in the one survey. They work in Business Register, they work in STS, SBS, etc. And that has developed efficiencies throughout the office in terms of the resources that we actually use. The future plans are basically our current plans really. We're just extending the IT development. We've done the user needs specification, and now we're working with IT to actually build a specification for an IT application. This is due by the end of the year, with the hope of an IT team actually building the application in the new year. We've also, as I mentioned earlier, started work on our large cases unit to develop a profiling unit itself for SPS, STS and Business Register. So we're going to start looking at the enterprises that our large cases units don't look at and have a massive effect on our business statistics areas. As part of our IT development, we're also trying to implement geocodes and also postal codes, which have just been developed in Ireland in recent years. Our main challenges are probably the same challenges everyone else has. I've already mentioned that we were allocated IT resources for IT development. When I say IT resources, we were given one person to work with for the last couple of months. So we're hoping that in the new year we'll be allocated an IT team to actually build the IT application. The medium cases unit as well, we're just facing the challenges of we're trying to implement intensive profiling. We're actually going out meeting these companies, so we're just setting up the processes of how we're actually going to go around and do this, so that by the end of this year, we hopefully will actually start meeting these companies and get that off the ground. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Indonesia? Is not yet here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nefriana. The SBR in Indonesia is positioned in the Directorate for the Development of Census and Survey Methodology. It is an ad hoc unit, and especially it is in the statistical standardization and classification development. So it is both in charge for the SBR development and also the standardization and classification development. And then the number of employees in the register currently is 14 people, including the administration people. It is established in 2013 with a technical assistant from the ABS. Currently, we have 2.4 million units, mostly are enterprises with single establishment. The progress in 2017, including the integration with economic census listing result, it was done by the interns from the Institute of Statistics. The units integrated are from formal sector and also the large and medium establishments. The next progress is the making of the guidance or standard operational concept and definition for the economic statistical unit. And the third one is the profiling and ground check continuation for the very complex and significant enterprise groups. In the future plans, actually, it's been started now, is the SBR custodian reconciliation with subject matter areas. It is purposed to reconcile about whose data will be maintained by which subject matter areas. And then the second one is the making of the institutional sector standard classification with the analysis from economic census 2016 data, and it has been started actually. And also we will continue with profiling and ground check. The main challenges is that negotiating access to the text data. The text data is regarded to be the best potential administrative source from our SBR, but we have gone through many meetings with them, but we haven't have the access to the data. And then also we want to enhance our SBR coverage, especially for government and NPs. Also for household, we will make another register called household register under the family of frames and register corporate statistical infrastructure. And also the third one is the survey transition to SBR, since we have no guidance for the transition of the survey. Thank you.
Thank you. Italy.
Thank you, Fabio. Good morning, I'm Monica Consalvi from Histat. Well, in Italy, we are engineering our business register for the implementation of the statistical unit enterprise in view of the compliance with SBS according to the action plan SBS. And we are trying to implement new requirements, above all the need to have temporarily different situation in the same time, the same instant. We succeed in historicizing the enterprise group part of our system, and now we are trying to set up the first prototype structure of the register, ready for the new concept of enterprise. Of course, that this should be integrated with the other existing register of our business register system. And as regards the profiling activity, well, from one end, a revised method for automatic profiling has been implemented, and we are reinforcing, we are enlarging the intensive profiling activities, even if we do not participate now in European grants. We are, just in this month, we set up a big group, the so-called EGR profiling team, with people from different domains for us, because profiling is a shared method among several structures involved that have different kind of expertise. Not only business register staff, also people belonging to the FATS, SBS, and national account environment. And of course, they also collaborate with our large case unit. In this content, for us, crucial is the training activity that we are now organizing. Well, other two projects are very crucial for Istat. The use of new sources, the web sources, for enlarge the informative content of our business register, and also the development of a new integrated database that could allow the identification of different types of enterprises, the production of statistical indicators related to trade by enterprise characteristics. Both these two projects will be described in details during these days. Thank you.
Grazie. Now Japan.
Yes, thank you. My name is Masao Takahashi from the Statistics Bureau of Japan. And the Japanese business register was established in 2002, and the main re-engineering of the register have been performed in 2008, 2012, and this year. And there are about 3.9 million enterprises in our business register. And as for the main challenges, we are planning to restructure the maintenance methods of the business register to improve the quality of the register. For this purpose, we will conduct a new economic census for business frame and profiling activity for large enterprises, both of which will be started next year. Also, we are planning to compile the register-based statistics covering all industries at the same time, which will be published in 2020 fiscal year. And in our presentation in section 7 on coming Thursday, we will be presenting the details of the economic census, which is the main data source of our business register. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Latvia.
Okay. My name is Sarmita Pro. I represent Central Statistical Bureau of Latvia. The main achievements in the past year are provided activities regarding maintenance of enterprise groups and profiling, were prepared draft methodology of national profiling, analyzed structure of national large and complex enterprises, and prepared new statistical software for data collection from national large and complex enterprise, and this year provided the first pilot data collection from them for 2017 reference year. During the grant project, provided activities on the implementation of statistical unit, kind of activity unit, analyzed and prepared methodology for determination of kind of activity unit in statistical business register. The lot of provided activities were related to statistical data harmonization, improvement of administrative data flow for providing data timeliness and accuracy. Regarding future plans, we are planning to continue work on profiling, and also we are planning the improvement of functionality of statistical business register. The main attention will be paid to procedures regarding data processing at statistical unit level, maintenance and dissemination procedures. Thank you.
Thank you, Lithuania. So we carry on with Mexico.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Hugo Hernandez. We established the SBR in Mexico in 2010, and the main re-engineering was in 2014. We have 2 statistical units, enterprises and establishment. We have around 5 million of establishment in our SBR. We update the SBR every year, only partially with the most important enterprise and establishment of the SBR. We extract sampling frames from economic surveys, and the DENUE, that is our product that disseminates the public information of our SBR, including the place where the activity is performed. We have built an econometric model in order to produce a timelier indicator of manufacturing activity using electricity consumption of every establishment in order to produce an estimate. Our future plans include to conduct activities to profiling enterprise group. We went to Canada last month in order to learn about that issue. And we are analyzing electronic invoices in order to generate economic statistics. Our challenge include the full updating of our SBR using data from the 2019 economic census. The second one is increase the linkage between our SBR and register on custom declaration, specifically for wholesales and retail enterprises, in order to enrich the available statistics on trade by enterprises characteristics, which now is focused to manufacturing industry, and continue working closely with the external sources to standardize conceptual and informatics definition to facilitate data exchange. Finally, where we are very interested on a statistical exploitation of SBR in order to produce new or timelier economic statistical information. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mongolia? No? So, Montenegro.
Hello everyone, my name is Marijana Rončević. I came from Statistical Office of Montenegro, Department for Statistical Registers and Classifications. Our business register was established in 2007. We have 3 persons employed in this department. Primary goal of our business register is to be a frame and to be a backbone for all statistics and statistical surveys. In the past year, we conducted a new pilot SBR survey continue our work on profiling and tested our new business register application and stability rules for this application. Our future plans are based on work on micro and small enterprises, work on business demography, and our main challenges are implementation of geospatial data in the statistical business register, and further improvement of the coverage of enterprise groups and updating procedures. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we carry on with New Zealand.
Good morning. My name is Matthew Page from Stats New Zealand. Our current business register was created in 1996 and redeveloped in 2012. We have a team of about 10 people maintaining 600,000 enterprises. In terms of progress and developments in the last year, we have introduced a new confidentiality method for the release of business demography statistics, which I will present on Thursday. Here we have adopted a new approach to confidentialise business register statistics called the noise counts and magnitude method. This has allowed us to release more data while protecting cells vulnerable to disclosure risk. We've also made greater use of our new statistical location register, or SLR, for maintaining addresses on the business register. The SLR was mainly created for the recent population census in New Zealand. It contains address information for all businesses and households in New Zealand. By linking to the address register on the BR, we will no longer need to maintain the register's geospatial classifications, as these will be on the SLR. We've managed to match 95% of addresses so far on the BR. In terms of future plans, our business register coverage is a subset of significant businesses in New Zealand from our business tax register. There's been an increasing need for information on the smaller micro businesses for research purposes by internal areas within our agency and also external research agencies. So we're looking at expanding our business register coverage. Along similar lines, we're exploring the idea of publishing confidentialised business lists, and we're currently working through the legislative requirements to do that. We're also planning on using more administrative data for updating the business register with less survey updating. So our monthly update survey of business births has been entirely replaced by administrative data. Our annual update survey has gone from 100,000 forms to 10,000 forms in the last decade. And we're currently looking at using companies' office shareholder data to assign overseas ownership percentages on our business register. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Palestina.
Okay, thank you. My name is Saleh Al-Kafri. I came from Palestinian Central Bureau of Statistics. I am Director General of Economic Statistics. My institution, BCBS, was established in 1993 when the government started its work after peace process agreement. Since the Palestinian government started from scratch, there were no registrations or any databases. BCBS started with its work by conducting the establishment census to be as sample frame. First census was in 1994, and we continue conducted the census each 5 years until last one in last census in 2017. The sample frame continued to depend on census until last year, 2017. But when the government institutions started develop their databases, we started prepare ourselves to use these databases to be used for establishment sample frame. Since 4 years, we collected all the registrations database from VAT, value-added tax, Ministry of National Economy, municipalities, and Chamber of Commerce. We studied these database and evaluated them. The main problems were the inconsistency concepts, and there are no unique identification for each unit. In addition, there are no unified database for all registrations and no linkages between them. We started to clean these databases and put them in one style, and with cooperation with INSEE, France, we developed an automated matching tool to match between the latest census and all other registrations to establish the first version of Administrative Business Register to be as base to use it in the future for updating and create our Statistical Business Register. Last month, we finished from the first version of ABR, include 36,000 establishments as legal units that successfully matched with census that include 145,000 establishments covered by census 2017. The next version will be improved before this year, end of this year, more to improve more, to include more units and to be better quality. We will continue in matching and collect more databases. The main idea is to establish an ABR to be as a base for updating the SPR. The main challenges are how to be more comprehensive and to follow the updating. Especially, we have some areas that not covered by the government and still under Israeli control. In addition, we have at least 40% of informal sector, and these weakness points don't allow the SBR to be as a good source for samples frame. In summary, our approach is going to develop the ABR before we think on the SBR and continue to conduct the census. We hope the year of 2022 be the last to conduct last census. Until that time, we will develop the ABR and test its coverage and quality in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you. Poland.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Julita Świętochowska. First of all, I would like to say that this year Statistics Poland celebrate 100th anniversary. On this occasion, the time capsule was put in the ground and for next generations, and it should be opened in 100 years. On website you can find some pictures about. Okay. So, as concerns Statistical Business Register, we have established this register in 2001, and it covers now more than 3 million of active legal units. So far, we don't have enterprises, I will say later. Statistical Business Register is not open for external users. It is internal users, they can use it, but also we have one exception that Central Bank can use it with some limitations. So they receive some data every month. The quality is the main issue of business register, so we work permanently on this. Especially, we would like to improve scope, consistency, and complexity. This year, we receive from administrative sources, insurance systems, monthly data instead of quarterly data. So it is improving a little bit. And we continue work also on geospatial identifications. The main challenge is profiling, like the other countries mentioned so far. So we do testing profiling on enterprise groups, multinationals and domestic ones. We are working on implementation, the automatic profiling, and so far we built a temporary team for profiling. But in the future, we would like to build permanent profiling team. So far, we have some problems with human resources. It is obvious, but we are hoping that we will do this. We will build this team. We are testing profiling, elaborating rules and algorithms for automatic profiling. And this activity is still in progress. We plan at the end of this year to do automatic profiling for the reference year 2016 as a primary population for further works. We would like also to implement enterprises and kind of activity units to the statistical business registers, and we have a lot of discussion with IT staff and IT solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Republic of Serbia.
From source. Serbian Statistical Business Registers is the main frame for all business surveys. SBR is established 2005 and the main re-engineering was done 2010. At the end of 2017, there were about 448 active legal units. Currently, SBR has not geographic coordinates because in territory of Serbia, more than 47,000 streets have not name and about million house number are missing. The Republic Geodetic Authority and units of local self-government are obliged to give the street name and house number to May 2019. If the address register is established by May 2019, it may be expected that SBR will establish geographical coordinates by the end of 2019. SBR survey was performed in November 2017. The frame consists of almost 8,000 businesses. Response rate very high, over 80%. This year the frame will consist about 20,000 businesses, units with more than 10 employees. The procedures for all phases of data flow are adopted by survey managers, data collection team, and SBR team. The redesign SBR publication is made with a focus on demography data. Future plans of the plan is implementation of top-down method using the value-added share, not only employee data. IT application named IST was completely designed at the source, and implementation of the SBR in the IST software has started. SBR uses various administrative sources in order to update its data. Source has proposed changes and amendments to the law on enterprises to Serbian Business Register Agency at the Ministry of Economy in terms of an obligation of registration all local units with their main activity and their email address. The implementation will start in 1st October this year. Main changes: unique base frame for all business survey, improving of using standardized statistical units and normally decreasing of response burdens or reported units. Thank you.
Thank you. Russia.
Good morning, colleagues. I represent Russian Federal Statistics Service. Statistical Business Register in Eurostat was established in 1992, and in 2016 it was centralized, so regional parts of register and administrative and statistical parts were united in one centralized database. Now it consists of 4.6 million local legal units and 4.5 million individual entrepreneurs. For the last year, it was strengthening of the register information monitoring. There was regular control over the filling of requisites, of mandatory requisites of register objects, and regular monitoring of correctness of the filling. There was contact with public authorities of expanding the administrative data given to Eurostat Business Register. For example, since August of this year, we receive data on number of employees from the tax services. It was this year optimizing of observation units lists. So inactive enterprises, or those who are determined by us as inactive, they were eliminated from the observation units list. Our future plans is provision of online access to our database, to ministries and the Central Bank of Russia. And I must admit that when we filled the country progress report, it was marked as a future plan, but now it is already organized. So this online access is already organized to these ministries and the bank. Also, our plan is centralizing of observation unit lists. Now they are made on the regional level, but we are going to centralize it to make all of them for every question, every observation on the national level. Also, it's continuing the work on enterprise groups. Now it's established a separate department on enterprise groups statistics. Main challenges are incomplete information on local units. We do not receive all the information from tax services because of tax restrictions, tax secrecy. And the other challenge is insufficient automation of classification attributes such as type of ownership, type of legal form. In our plans is to make it automatically 99%. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Republic of Slovak. No? So Slovenia.
Good morning. My name is Ema Mišić. An important part of business statistics in Slovenia is also statistical business register, which was